Hey guys, welcome to Mike It Yourself. So mistakes were made, right? Um, just recently, I was having some issues with the keyless power setup that I installed in the Harley. I was riding it, and at one point the power just cut off completely, um, and then it would restore itself. So my thought was something was wrong with the actual module itself. So I kind of ignored it. I had a bypass switch that I had integrated into the system, so bypassed it to see if that was the issue, and it seemed to work for a day. I came out the next day to start the bike just to prevent it from wet sumping, and um, wouldn't start. So I tried a jumper pack and still wouldn't start. So I did a quick battery test and found that the battery was deader than a doornail. Um, so I went ahead and charged it, took it up to 100%, and let it just sit overnight, not on a trickle charger, just kind of the battery alone, and found that it was at 20% in the morning, which tells me it's a bad battery, right? So we're going to install a battery today, but what I want to just remind folks of is as you do your projects and something may not work right, don't automatically assume that it's what you did. So in the process of troubleshooting things, I removed that passive system. It's not hard to put back in, but I removed it. And when I got to the point of where I actually wired it into the power, I found a bad crimp. So what was causing the power to cut out was a bad, splice that I put in there, and not actually the module, not the battery, even though I'm sure the battery had some play in it, but for the power just totally cutting out, that's what it was. So in haste, I got kind of frustrated and I pulled all that out. So what we're going to be replacing today is this high performance battery from Drag Specialties. This is the old guy. I have no idea how old this is. I didn't look around for a battery date on it. Yeah, I don't see one on here. But I've got another battery coming in from Amazon. It's a much cheaper battery. So this one, I think on like JP Cycles goes for about, I want to say it's like 120, 140 bucks, somewhere around there. I looked at a couple batteries, so I might have my prices goofed up. And there is a high performance Drag Specialties, and then there's just like the battery Drag Specialties. The one I got was just some low budget one off of Amazon. And as usual, I'll put the link in. I'll also put the link in for this one as well in there. So if you want this battery, which it's probably a better quality one, I could totally be wrong, but it's, your basic Harley battery, at least for my model. So just to kind of show you what the unit for the passive system looks like, this is it. Like I said, it really consists of 4 wires. So battery, power, and then the ability to add or remove power as needed there. So it won't be hard for me to put this back in once I'm ready. But I think first what I'm going to do is go ahead and install the battery and just make sure things are running as expected. And once I know things are pretty solid and no issues, then I'll put the passive system back in, double check my crimps to make sure I do a good quality job, and I shouldn't have any issues. So let's go ahead and jump right into the battery replacement. Okay, so we've got the replacement battery in. Just take it out the box here. Like I said, it's some generic brand battery. I don't know the brand of it specifically. None of the big name brands, I'll tell you that. But I had decent reviews and just kind of taking a look, and again, all I needed was a standard battery. I'm not looking for anything crazy. As usual, I like to try to keep my costs down a little bit. One could argue that you may end up having to replace that sooner than later, and therefore you're not really keeping your costs down. But it's just what I believe, so kind of works out for Mike. Alright, looks packed in pretty darn good. Ain't got no tape on it. Just tight. There you go. Try to get out the base here real quick for you. Okay, so it's just your average 12 volt 18 amp hour battery. It looks like it is vacuum wrapped here. I don't think it comes with a charge, so I'm gonna have to probably throw it on the charger for a little bit before I put it in the bike. So comes with a little bit of instructions here. It does say battery prep, so I'm gonna just take a quick look at it, kind of where this thing is at. So we're gonna go ahead and put that on. We can take a quick look, see what this thing reads out on us. Okay, so I'm going to tilt this up a little bit. So right now it's reading 12.9 volts. And it should flip over to the percentage to tell me what percent this battery is charged. Sometimes I've got to activate it in order to get there. This is a really great charger. I'll put the link in the description on this too. It does both power sport and automotive batteries, so you can do 3 amp or 15 amp. So if you're doing bike batteries, you want to run it at 3 amp. If you're doing a car, it's 15 amp. And then it does the 3 different types of batteries, standard, AGM, and gel, depending on what type of battery you got. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this on. So 3 amp, and I'm going to set it to AGM because that's the type of battery this one is. It'll kick in. Okay, on, charging. So it's getting me a voltage right now. If for some reason you put your connections on reversed, this does have an indicator here that tells you, hey, you got it on backwards, silly. So that's really nice. And then once it is charged, you get a green light here. So just jumping back on the percentage, it's saying we're 96%. So I'm going to top this bad boy off before we put it in the bike. And that should be very short. So I'll bring y'all back once we're ready. Got to turn that back on. Okay, so because I already took out the old battery, I've already undone the screws or bolts, whatever you want to call them, that was securing my seat down. So all I have to do now is just kind of lift that off to get access to the battery box. And this is very simple, where it's literally the positive and negative there. Like I said, once I get everything restored and I feel confident again that everything's straight, I will put the passive system back into this. That won't be a whole lot of effort either. So let me just go ahead and grab the battery and the new nuts and bolts here. So we can put that in. So I do need to replace my battery box. When I got the bike, it's clearly missing a good solid box there. The battery fits kind of loose. However, the turn signal canceling unit kind of helps take up that space. Not supposed to, but that's what it does for now. And I'll have to be replacing that in the near future. It'll be a video, I'm sure. All right. So when hooking up your battery, you want to make sure you do your red terminal first, so positive first, and then you do your negative, okay? You don't want to do it the other way around. It's just a safety thing. So I am also hooking up, I have a little plug here, so I can always plug in a battery tender if wanted. So I've got that wired in. So those are this is the additional wires that you see me fiddling with right now. So at this point, we're ready for a quick test. We got juice, so that's a plus. Wires in the way there. Put on the choke, and let's see if we got ignition. So that's how you put in the battery. We got the seat back on. This thing is ready to hit the road. So hopefully, if not today, maybe tomorrow I'll be able to take it for a spin and get some wind in my hair, right? This one is a pretty easy bike to swap the battery out. The important things to remember, regardless of what you're swapping the battery out on, whether it's a car or motorcycle, is the order of things, right? So as I mentioned, when you're putting it in, red terminal first, then black terminal. When you're taking it out, you want to do black terminal first, then red terminal, right? If you look at any repair manual, they're going to tell you the same thing. As you're taking it out, or if you're doing work on any electronic components to your car, they're going to tell you disconnect the negative battery terminal as you do that work, just to prevent you from being electrocuted or shorten any of your stuff out, right? So just be careful with that stuff. Like I said, some bikes are a little bit more convenient than others. The red bike there, you got to take off a side panel, open up a swing door, unscrew the battery, and then kind of, G-me it out the side there. So I'm sure there are other bikes that are much more complicated and don't make it easy for you. But as you see, it's not a hard task to do. It's just all about getting access to it. So hopefully you learned something from this video today. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving and looking forward to some awesome holidays coming this next month. Until then, take care. See you on Mikey yourself later.